I don't think it's going to be any kind of like great NiP affair. I'm not super convinced them yet, but I mean, the cool thing is, I think for NiP, the highlight is the fact that this third map is Nuke, which I don't see Envy taking away from them. So I think Envy has to win these first two maps. But I mean, if I was forced to make a prediction, if twist my arm, I'd probably go with NiP as well.
All right, then. You wouldn't always have guessed from the way you started that sentence, but I appreciate it nonetheless. XMS. Oh,
God.
He goes on the hunt, but GetRight is crouched in the corner, and there comes Draken running over RPK. Happy has to come up big, and that's just not happening. GetRight on a big double kill, and that's it. Oh, was that a 2-for-1?
I think so. I don't know if I see that too frequently as well.
Not with a USP.
No, surely
My
not.
God. Wow.
That's a very visceral start to this game. A lot of aggression, fast-paced down drop. And I mean, let's just say it. Well, actually, we're gonna get this replay here, so.
Oh, they don't look anywhere. They don't look like they're at all in the same spot.
It is. It's perfect. You love to see it.
The second to last bullet as well.
Yep. I mean, listen, if GetRight's going to start this off with a 4-kill in the pistol round and he's hitting those shots, this could be a quick game. This is a very dangerous map to play very effective lurkers on. We know GetRight, he's kind of gone away a little bit from it, but, you know, obviously if you put someone like GetRight in towards drop zone, he can just cause so much damage.
That's just very interesting. I did kind of like the idea that XMS actually wanted to go for that fight, and I think if GetRight had been standing as a crouch, that probably would have been a good pick for him. But, didn't quite work out this time around.
And there's Draken getting caught off guard. The CZ around the corner, so even game at 4-4. No one from NiP really there to follow up on that Draken death. Yeah, that aggression from XMS is kind of interesting on that pistol round, just to go back to it, because there's actually, there was no one really there with him. Like, someone could have swung out at the end of those B holes and just easily killed him when he wasn't looking, but Sixer's going to try and find out what's going on in the A holes. Then they're going to play it passively. Two players here for Envy. Dangerous times for Forrest. He controls the spray to get one, and the trade comes in from Rez.
A bit of a stack, and always dangerous when you're up against the C75 to go the long route here. We have to get really close to them, but seems to be working out for NiP. Eventually, Rez will pick up a double kill there. He's down to 2 health, and they know exactly where RPK is. That's going to be at least one headshot, a second follow-up. Don't give this one up. It's already been a very expensive round here. GetRight's got 23 seconds, which is really not a lot, and GetRight moving out into the open. Gonna get the kill on RPK in the end, but that was way too close.
It really was. I mean, great shots by RPK. Obviously, the cleanup on the second player as well. It's Rez with only 15 HP. But still, I don't think NiP is going to be too upset about it. Yes, it was an expensive round for NiP, but the fact that Envy buys up into that, they know this next round is going to be a bit easier. So you can go down to some of those SMGs, try and make some bonus money. And also, I mean, you know, they've also spent a lot. So going into the fourth round, Envy's going to be missing a couple things. That kind of makes up for it.
Now, Envy had the 3-man stack over at long, and while we're sorting out a tech issue, I want to ask you about this because we saw that yesterday from them, I think, as well. They had a lot of rounds where they were stacked over at long, 3 men, and just sort of kept doing that more than people normally do, because the philosophy tends to be that if you don't have 4 people in B, then you might not be able to hold that bomb site at all. And they, for a lot of rounds, only had 2.
Yeah, it's just the theory, right, of, you know, you pick somewhere to just put players, and you kind of gamble. And the presence there, you could see they got aggressive as well. Like, part of it was Sixer, you know, he got aggressive to the point where if no one was there for NiP, they could immediately bail out of that and go to the other bomb site. But because he spotted people, they followed up and kept those 2 players there. So, I mean, you kind of have the option once you get aggressive and you go searching for that information if you're Envy. But still, I mean, you could see, well, you will see Draken getting the Mac 10. Wants to make back some of that money they lost. I mean, still a very good round from Envy.
Yes, I think it was. I mean, especially, I think what was worrying was the time that was left there. You know, 23 seconds for a 1v1. So if GetRight didn't get the kill but wanted to go and plant, who knows? Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, and you also know he goes and gets that AK-47. GetRight doesn't lose those rounds as well. You know? Actually, he does frequently, but we like to paint the narrative that he doesn't.
I mean, some of these players, I think that has to be the strength of having a GetRight or a Forrest on your team, is that they're just so experienced. Like they've tried everything, right? You want them to win those clutch rounds.
Well, I mean, GetRight said it in the interview with Forrest the other day. It was kind of funny because he kept saying, you know, these younger guys have the hunger that we used to have, and like Forrest, like jokingly, was like, we still have it. But it is like that. It is like the difference. It's like when you are the younger players coming in, you know, you are motivated to just go into a death match for like 5-6 hours. You know, I would imagine as you're playing for 10, 12 years. You know, you're not exactly desiring to go into a deathmatch for that much every single day of the week. But what you do have is that ability to just never be fazed by anything going on. You know, when you're on a stage, when you're in the big stage and you're in the big moments. Regardless, the technical issue is resolved. I believe it was a heating problem. One of the heaters malfunctioned. Got a bit chilly.
It's getting too cold. I mean, that's a serious problem that gamers have to fight every once in a while, at least.
Stiff fingers.
Stiff fingers, yeah, you got to be careful about that. Now, double MAC-10 out of the NiP team. The rest trying to keep it honest with the AK-47s and not really give too much of a chance for Envy to get back in this. And Envy, on the other hand, are all stacked up at the B-bomb site, which I kind of like. I prefer this.
Yes, and I mean, they even have a couple tools. I mean, they have one P250, one CZ, so just, you know, the smallest chance possible to get something going. Just maybe some lucky headshots from the CZ or the P250 can turn this round on its head. Still, NiP, they haven't decided where to go. And this is cool, though. The MAC-10s, you can obviously tell they're just going to be used for scouting. No nades bought up on them. I mean, Exist has one flashbang, but not investing in that because they know they're going to be going in first. They know if anyone's going to be falling in this round, it should be them. So no reason to spend that money on the nades when you're going into just relay information. There's an opening kill. Still the MAC-10s. It's great. It's all the bonus money coming out. This is perfect for NiP so far.
As much as I enjoy the stack for Envy, what I don't enjoy is that they've taken a couple of sort of singular fights with no one being able to sort of develop any kind of crossfire here. And it is all down to RBK, who's going to get found by Drake, and so that'll be the round for NiP. Really smooth work coming out of them. I mean, I think we don't see this nearly often enough, but if you have 5 men in the B-bomb side in a stack like this, why not put 2 of them aggressive on the plateau? And then when NiP go and fight them and win that fight, they think, well, that's it, you know. 2 aggressive on plateau, the rest of the bomb side probably going to be more or less empty. And then there's 3 more there.
Yeah, the old bait and switch type idea. Yeah, I mean, there's no real right answer, is there?
No, there isn't.
Yeah, you're just at such a disadvantage. The other idea is if you play it a little bit more passively as well, if you lure them into the right area where everyone that's stacked there can take the fight at the same time. Tough part is that's directly countered by NiP having Exist on a MAC-10, who's just literally going to go in with no support at the start just to see what he can find.
It's the first real chance for Envy here. They have the rifles. No AWP currently picked up, but they do have a lot of grenades, especially a lot of counter flashes they can put out. Now the drop already in. 3 men down for NiP, walking on top of each other, and they're going to be barreling into the bomb side. There's RPK going down. A lot of trouble now for Happy, trying to find a way inside, but get right with the double kill, and Scream and Six are already bailing out of that situation. That is pretty much the classic B take, isn't it?
I mean, that's... You know, it's clinical, and those smokes are so nice. That wall is set up to separate the drop player from the rest of his team inside the bomb site. That's just so RPK is so isolated, and he's got a really tough decision to make, and they have so much faith in that wall, they don't even have to look at the bomb site when they come out drop. They can just turn that corner really, really quick. RPK's not prepared for it. I think, I mean, essentially that setup, I think that's the same execute they did on pistol round. Maybe not with the exact smoke wall, but 3 players drop, you had Get Right pushed up. Drake and I think we're still on some flashbangs in the back. So very good round for NiP.
I mean, it has the... Even if you get the first kill on the defending side, on the CT side, if you get the first kill, the problem is that fight can't even take too long. Like, you have to get the kills quick when you're on the CT side. Any kind of delay where you're sort of spraying for a long time or taking a bit of time to get that fight in, and the other arm of that attack is suddenly going to come into play, and then you've got trouble. So, yeah, it is the age-old problem of playing B-bomb side cobblestone. Yeah,
the great thing is you could see Get Right as well when he drops off that broken wall. Since his teammates are all coming out drop at the same time, he knows he doesn't have to clear to the right. He just has to look left. He knows exactly what he has to fight for. And to be frank, I mean, that's a kill. He can't get a double kill there. Certainly even that first kill was a little bit of a surprise that he wins as he's coming off drop. He's had a great start to this map so far. Still some danger in this round, though, with the 2 rifles on board.
Gotta be careful about that. Get Right does eventually go down. Rez with the follow-up, and now they've got to decide if they want to keep pushing this or if they're going to fall back, because they're spending a lot of time on this plateau, just sniping at a distance. Exist will get a good double kill, but there is a flank coming in, so if Sixer can just keep it alive for a bit, maybe Happy could have an impact. He's deciding to go up through drop, though, where he's not really going to find anyone just yet. Now they're just waiting. The bomb should be going down here.
And now also the flank's up. Enough time has passed that they're going to start considering this. Forrest is already on the platform swinging back. So, yeah, I think the call came in from Sixer just saying, I'm just going to save my weapon. Because if you want to make that flank have a chance, if you're Sixer, you have to have enough presence to keep NiP's attention on you, which is a dangerous prospect considering, you know, it's 1 versus 3 essentially. But you also can't commit yourself to dying because once you fall, then they can all start looking elsewhere. So I think this is a smart decision. The big risk is play for the economy, get the M4, and I think Happy just wants to bust out a drop after the bomb explodes and try and get a weapon if possible.
This is tough for the French side because they're running into a problem that very few teams have solved on cobblestone specifically, which is when you can't really win the plateau fight, which NiP has been winning a couple of times now, you just run out of options very quickly.
And the other part of that as well that's going to be frightening moving forward is NiP in some of these rounds we've seen in the pistol round, and we just saw in that first gun round as well, have actually sent the majority of their attack at the B bomb site towards drop zone.
Yeah.
So if you're RPK, you're saying, guys, they sent 3 down drop. I'm going to need help here. I can't hold them all back. So that's going to call another player over. And then eventually if NiP makes that switch and sends 2 to 3 players to platform and maybe 1 player lurking drop, then all of a sudden you've misallocated your resources on the defense. And then it just keeps in that free fall, doesn't it?
Well, again, they have RPK alone and drop while 2 are playing on the bomb side. Looks like they're going to go for a boost, which is not always safe. You can Molotov this position as well. So Happy has to be very careful, and he has to win the fight again on that plateau and then drop. And that's a great flick from Draken, taking down 1. XMS will get the return, so at least there was that very important refire coming in here for the CT side. Now, can they hold on to the bomb side? NiP are delaying a little bit. They want to take the fight here, and XMS is out in the open. He does get back around the corner, and now RPK swinging wide around the statue, and he goes down to get right. That might have been just a bit of a commitment there. He needed someone from his team to follow that up, and now instead it's NiP with the counter boost up on the box looking for the high ground advantage, and they're going to get it as well looking down from above. It's Exist to get the kill, and that's the end of the round. Forrest will pick it up, and NiP with 6-0. They seem to know exactly what they're doing in this bomb side, NiP. They
really do, especially in that round when the execute comes in, but it actually just takes a very long time to actually get the bomb site. That's why you see the overcommitment from RPK. He swings out wide thinking more than likely someone's going to be actually aggressively taking a route to the bomb site, and they're still all back on platform. So he's got too many options to shoot at, too many opponents that are facing him as well. And it's just a very long time to have to hold that defense without any real utility at that point. There's a lot of dynamic playing going on, especially this round, just sending Draken with the AWP to pick into the bomb site. They call his number. They say, go find us a kill at the B site. A great shot on Happy on the boost. A lot of angles you have to worry about with a slow pick with the AWP.
This time they want to be a bit aggressive. Envy, here's the change of pace, and they're going to be able to take down Exist. Great play. This is what you want to see out of a team like Envy, especially one that's struggling a little bit. Some sort of leadership being called for the CT side, and that kind of push definitely going to put NiP in an awkward position. And beautifully called and executed smokes and Molotovs in on Draken. He's going to try and open things up again, but the angle from Sixer is so powerful. No chance to get a shot off, and almost gets another one, but that's forced. He adjusts very, very quick. Scream still here. There's the flashbang. Oh, he's completely blind. He's not taken out yet, but there it finally is. Oh, man. Envy. They did everything right, but yet they've ended up in a 3-on-3. Just on the bomb site now is Happy. They've got to be carefully done. They do have Molotovs, and one is actually going to land on Happy's position. He has to move out into the open, and that spray just never going to work. Forrest does go down. RPK can't pick up the double, and instead it's XMS. Now, 1 versus 2. He's got a bit of a lead there. He could have maybe sniped off GetRight, who was stuck in the corner, but I don't think he knew. And now what does he do? They're just waiting, NiP. We've got 30 seconds, and XMS second-guessing himself at the moment. NiP's being so patient. They just want to see if XMS is going to give up any information. They still have 1 more smoke on Res. That'll be used for double doors when they eventually do decide to cross. 15 seconds left, but they still want to see what's going to happen, and they're going to find nothing. And actually, they don't even use the smoke. This is just walking into the site, and now GetRight's protected for the plant. Very well done. It's going to be more than just a bit difficult, especially because he does not currently have a kit picked up. That gives away the game. He knows there's someone in the corner, but Rez still going to get the headshot for the triple. And I've got to say, because I was a bit critical of Rez earlier when we were on the desk, but if he can start to step it up in big games, because we know he has the talent for it, it's just that some of these high-level games, it seems to be getting to his nerves a little bit. Maybe he's a bit too anxious, but
Yeah.
No hesitation here at all.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's very common to see. We talk about every time there's a new player, but what he does have is a great amount of confidence out of players like GetRight. If you talk to him and ask about Rez, he says Rez is like the perfect teammate at the moment. I mean, he just absolutely enjoys playing with him. So it's always good to have that faith of one of the kind of leaders of your team. And yeah, this is tough times for Envy. They opened it up with the aggression, but they still can't contain things on the other side of the map.
And that must almost be the most disappointing thing of all, because the call to go aggressive on B is so good.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, and then winning the fight on long, even better, and you still don't win the round. Like, at that point, when you've got that much of a lead, it's hard to retain the confidence that you're going to be able to pull out more stuff like that.
The tough part is, Scream and Sixer are there with rifles and those A-Halls, and I mean, Sixer wins the initial fight, and then Scream goes back towards Danger Stairs, so he's not actually available to trade off Forrest when he eventually gets that kill. If they stick together and just say, you know what, we'll let him have Danger, we'll let him get up mid if they want, but we're going to make sure that long A is on lockdown, I think that round can turn out very differently, because you can always rotate back towards that A bomb site from long, and then you have the bomb site pinched. There's nowhere for the NiP players to do the post plant.
Again, some upgraded pistols. UMP. See if Forrest can set up a good grenade. In fact, there's a bit of a counterplay coming out. I like the attempt from Envy. It's better than doing nothing, but
yeah. This is, I think, also, I mean, this will be kind of cool just to keep track of. Scream mentioned it in his interview with Sue that we just watched before this went live, how the mentality is, I mean, it's obviously very important. We mention it all the time talking about professional Counter-Strike, but especially Envy, I mean, they've admitted that they have some of those problems at times, and, they seem like a team who, if they get off to a rough start, such as 0-8, strikes me as a pretty rough start, do they have the fortitude to come back from that?
Yeah.
Do they have it, Anders? What do you think?
I don't. And, NiP have been referencing both Exist, I think, and GetRight earlier. We're talking about their newly picked up mental coach on the NiP side, which is obviously exciting. It seems to be a more and more popular thing.
I was going to say, it seems to be the thing to do right now.
Yeah.
Is pick up the sports psychologist.
Maybe that's in the future for Envy too. Maybe for Virtus Pro. Maybe they're, I don't know if they're immune to psychology, but you've got to hope that something works. And we've got a NiP Classic, Moses, the 3-man stack and the grenades going all the way over the castle.
The Threat Classic.
Yes. It's been adopted by almost every team now playing this, and the wall is quite a bit back from the actual statue. Again, RPK not able to hold a drop. Scream is kind of nearby, but he can't do anything. He's smoked out as well, and now on the bomb site itself, NiP flashing their way through the smoke. Forrest gonna get a kill, and XMS, he survives for a moment, and Happy's actually live back there as well. This might be working out. No more bullets for Exist, and he's down now. Draken, it's a 2-1-2. Forrest on the other side of the bomb site. That grenade gonna force XMS out, and there's Forrest with the kill. Envy, they nearly had it. How did they make this work?
The smoke wall actually looked like it was hindering NiP at a certain point when they realized, oh, we actually have to fight back through it. We didn't actually have all this success that we did the first time, and Happy with that op. Makes it ring true a couple times, but not able to close out the round. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the pain for RPK. He's now tried a couple different ways of protecting that drop zone, and what it comes down to is, he's fighting inside drop zone. Scream isn't quite there. I don't know if he's trying to jump up into window, but he wasn't in drop zone with them, so no ability for trade, no ability for multi-kills. NiP's just steamrolling him. They've come in today looking very good in these...
Yeah, much better. Because they did say, yesterday was a bit of an off day, and, we talked about that, and that can happen. But you always hear teams say that. But
you kind of have to say that, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's better than I don't know what else you really could say.
We played to the best of our ability and still got destroyed.
Yeah, just we're not good enough. But there's some evidence here, I would say, that maybe that was true. This certainly looks like the kind of NiP that we all want to see. 9-0 against Envy. That's very interesting, especially with GetRight doing as well as he is. And Forrest right behind him. It's the classic duo.
Yeah, that's what you love. Not necessarily the way this team appears to be geared, though. I mean, they all kind of admit that at a certain point, Draken and Rez are kind of like the heir apparents to this NiP squad. There's the Molotov. There's for those aggressive players on platform on these rounds that you mentioned earlier, Anders. So going through all the stops, ticking all the boxes, even on an anti-eco or anti-force buy, just making sure they don't get caught off guard by anything. And it's perfect.
GetRight making sure the flank is going to be spotted early there. RPK goes down. I think they're just looking for the exit kill, so 10 rounds in a row for NiP. I mean, when was the last time in ELEAGUE? Have we had any 16-0s in ELEAGUE yet?
I don't think so.
I think we've been close a couple of times, right? But I can't remember either. Maybe we'll get someone to figure that out for us while we're waiting here. Not saying it's done yet, obviously, Envy. And I would say to their credit, they actually have tried quite a few different things. Whereas I've watched a lot of teams on this map on CT side just run the same setup again and again and again and fail it.
And just hope it works.
Yeah. So I you know, credit to Envy for trying to dig their way out of this, but it's not easy.
No, it really isn't. And the tough part is, I mean, it's almost the worrying thing is like, yes, credit to them for still trying different ideas and giving different looks and a little bit of aggression here and there. But at the same time, if you've tried so many different things and you're still down with no wins, that's worrying.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to give credit anyway.
Yep.
Moses, I did a
Got to give those.
I passed a German exam once where the examiner said, well, you made up some words along the way that weren't really German, but you kept your spirits high and we thought it was a good job, so you're going to pass anyway.
What'd you get? Oh, is it just pass or fail? Or would you use it like a...
I think I barely passed. There's lowest possible mark for passing when you make up words that don't exist, but, you know, what can you do?
You think they'd frown on that, right?
It's German after all. What can you do? It's a double AWP setup, and then Draken on the other side with the one of his own, so... maybe this is the answer. Again, an attempt to switch it up for Envy.
Here's another new look, is we're going to have Happy aggressive on platform with the AWP, so he's going to be able to get some information and look deep. How aggressive does he actually want to be? Molotov to force someone out. Not going to have anyone. Great utility in flashbangs, though, to prevent danger from NiP at that peak, but as I say that, Happy comes back and gets one.
Great job, and Happy actually called in a teammate to throw that Molotov. He didn't even try and do it himself, so you can really see the communication here for Envy. I love seeing this out of the French. Forrest trying to make an entrance over at long. It's a good Molotov and a great flashbang, and the spray through so close to catching Sixer. That could have been it, but now Envy have the advantage. They've had it before, but this time they got to hold on to it.
Yeah, but Envy doesn't know how many people or how pressured they were being in those A halls, so they haven't called anyone on the rotate, and just now it's coming in. 3 players for Envy were in drop. That's a miscommunication, but they obviously have the great idea to lean over towards the A site. This is a big risk. They still haven't got all the information of how many people are there. I think it might have been, you know, the right call, but for the wrong reasons from Envy. And now you see Happy and XMS going away as there's no more pressure at the A bomb site, but here comes the hit itself.
With just 18 seconds. Seems like madness out of the Swedish team. Scream is going to get one. It's a good reply and a bit of a missed shot for Sixer. He's going to be very worried. One grenade on him and he's gone. Look at, he's got RPK there to back him up and get right out of the round as well. It's looking much better. 4 seconds and the round is definitely done. Bomb can't even be planted any longer. So finally Envy will pick up the win and the kills even after the clock has run out. I'm not sure it's going to make a big difference, but still it must feel good to Envy finally picking up a round. 10-1.
Yeah, but look at the money on the NiP side. It almost feels like it doesn't matter. They have plenty. They had 4 players over 10,000 before these buys came in, even with a lack of the losing bonus on 2 players. And yeah, I mean, that just comes down to NiP. They just got stalled out for far too long. If you're Envy in that situation as well, you can essentially just throw bodies on the rotation into the bomb site just to delay. They have to take those fights, and it just slows it down so much.
Yeah, you are right indeed. Another setup here, and they say money can't buy you love, but it can buy you guns, Moses. And in a game of Counter-Strike, that's even more important.
It can buy you smokes as well for this tactic. Last time they did this, they hit the B bomb site. We know that these smokes can be used to fake teams out. Although this time it looks like NiP again for a second time is going to go back towards B, but no presence in drop. It looks like everyone's going to be coming off platform. That's the switch up. Is Envy going to be ready for this? Because it's the same smoke walls. They've got RPK and Scream watching for it, but look at the patience. Boosting someone up. It's Get Right's going to have to clear things out, and he's just missing him. Scream gets behind. Can he get traded off? No, Get Right can't find it.
This is madness. Finally, Forrest comes in with a kill long range from RPK. This time, there was no one in drop to take him down, as you said, so a big change here for the NiP team. 2 versus 3, and they're low on health and kind of stuck in place. Draken with a bit of a Molotov, trying to force someone else out. That could have worked, but Happy's there to pick it up, and Sixer with the kill, so big round win here for Envy, and you can't even blame NiP for going back to the B bomb site. But that, if you contrast that round with all of the drop plateau split rounds, that would make for a great little segment just to talk about that, because that's a really interesting switch.
Yeah, it really was. And I mean, I was looking, mentioned it earlier, I was looking for that switch up where NiP is going to send more towards platform. And I think, if there's a second difference in some of those plays, I think maybe it does work. And or Get Right boosted up, just barely misses the player pushing Sidewalk, who gets 1 kill. And, couldn't find anyone in the bomb site due to some of the smoke. So maybe some things a bit more fortunate for NiP, and that works. More aggression, though, and more switches from Envy. It's Happy being boosted, and Get Right's going to throw the Molotov. I don't believe that's actually reaching, and pegs him with the flashbang as well, and another one comes out, so four damage done by 2 flashbangs.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Take a while. But it did at least force the shot out, so I mean, good read by NiP, expecting the aggression, which has pretty much worked out for Envy for a couple of rounds here. I'm loving it. Oh, that is dirty for Draken. Taking down Happy at the edge. Forest with a headshot on Sixer and almost catching Scream off guard. He's going to go back and take the fight here, and will actually do quite a lot of damage to Forest, down to 12 health, but still not looking good here for Envy.
Great lurk from Forest. He just gets aggressive, and I don't know how that miscommunication occurs between Sixer and Scream, but Sixer's not even aware that that's a possibility. He's essentially a free kill, and because of that from Forest, the round is all over. Single-handedly takes over the A bomb site before anyone from Envy can even rotate, can even cheat. It'll be 11th for the Ninjas. And pretty harsh economic punish for Envy coming in.
Yeah, that's really going to make a big difference. NiP have got all the money they could possibly want. There's just, I mean...
I think you're still going to buy if you're Envy.
Yeah, I would say
you have this AWP to buy around unless it gets taken away.
No, how is that possibly a missed shot? That looked like that should have been dead on, but that loss is actually huge for Envy. How did that happen?
I mean, that's just crushing. That's that one miscommunication between Sixer and Scream. I don't know if maybe Sixer just stuck around too long, or if he thought Scream was watching that somehow, because we've seen them play over in those halls together for some time, like a couple different rounds.
Yeah.
This time, it just no one had eyes on Danger Stairs. No one had eye on those double doors in middle, and then Sixer's just pushed up on the wrong side of it. And we obviously didn't get to spectate Forest throughout the whole round. He could have just walked. It could have been one of those just, rounds you take the risk.
Definitely paid off. We're back to upgraded pistols for Envy. This is, I mean, we've seen it already today, that sometimes the CT side is a little bit rough. T side, things get a bit better. But still, when you're looking at 2 rounds early on here, it's no fun at all.
No, I mean, yeah, you don't really have a lot to hang your hat on going into the second half. This has been great from NiP, though, and I mean, the beauty of some of the tactics they've run, I've mentioned it a couple times, is, you can do those same setups, those same kind of executes, and you can just switch 1 or 2 things up. There's a lot of variety out of the same look, so if you're the defense, it can be very confusing of what hit you're about to face.
Six hiding in the corner. It's going to be an easy pick-off on the first. Great second kill. XMS there with a headshot. The bomb is down for a moment. So now, why are they fighting here, Envy? They are going to get the kill, but very dangerous. And Draken is going to get overrun. I think they could have held it back a little bit at the end. Always risky to run into the last 2 players there, but it works out. So credit to the French here. 3-11 as a scoreline, moving into the last round of the half.
It's the classic Anders. Nothing works on the defense at the B-bomb site this whole half when they have rifles. You throw out some pistols, get a couple nice kills. No one clears out Sixer, and for a team NiP that has frequently cleared this with great, focus and making sure you get everything right and you make sure you go all through the steps, this time they just let 1 spot slip.
Yeah, I think actually that specific spot they've cleared out with Molotovs in the past, and they certainly had them, so no good explanation, perhaps just getting a bit overeager. Draken gonna challenge the smoke, and Happy's actually been very proficient with the AWP in this bomb site, so good news.
Yeah, it just hasn't been able to have it as much as he'd like, has he? And I mean, I think the first time he had it, they did that smoke wall where he got 2 kills, but they still end up winning, or losing the round, excuse me, if you're Envy. So now that he's got the freedom, he's gotten a little bit aggressive. There's not as much pressure towards platform, or as much aggression from NiP. He's got some time to set up and get some nice angles. Now, if you're NiP, you have Get Right lurking and drop, which is perfect, and you have 3 players who've got to start making some progress over towards A.
Oh, Scream. That's a dangerous spot to be holding when they have Molotovs. He should know they have the money. This is very common to be grenaded out. Rez is sort of thinking about it, and he has one of them. They're going to go and check Danger Stairs all the way through now. Are they going to make the call? That could break over the whole round if that happens. Scream is drawing in RPK, so they're going to have a bit more defense here, but they're still setting it up. Forest making a bit of noise, falling back, and it actually looks like they're going to fall all the way back. Peek in for RPK behind the flashbang, so now they know this is very awkward for NiP. Get right with a critical headshot taking down Happy. He was peeking over at the plateau, leaving XMS alone on the bomb site. What have you done, Envy? Now out in the open, Get Right going to cancel the fight for the moment. Forest close with the AWP already scoped up, and with the Molotov, a little bit of help there. Nowhere that XMS could go. RPK gets one, but Forest on point with the sniper. Sees a second player and almost going to get the kill, but that leaves Exist to get one headshot. 8 seconds left in a 1v1 here. And 6 seconds now, he has to go for the plant. Did he hear it? Sixer going to rotate the other way, and Exist cancels the plant, and that's going to be the round. He thought that he was going to get rushed down. That was a big risk, and 11-4 at the end.
I'll tell you what, though, Envy's got to be happy that they won that. And I mean, no pun intended, but Happy makes a big mistake falling there to Get Right, opens up that entire bomb site for NiP. Very close. What a great first half from NiP. It's a big win, 11-4. We'll see if they can close it out in the second half. Stay tuned.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. RPK and Forest here, and a little bit of a difference in the ADR, 105 to 73 there. I mean, RPK had just a miserable time that first half, getting knocked out in drop almost all the rounds. Just no fun at all, is it?
That's why that position just sucks. That's why everyone hates playing drop zone on Cobble, because you do feel so useless when they're throwing 3 bodies at you like that consistently. It's just like, please help me. And you can't get anything done, and you start to feel very, very useless on a team scale.
Yeah, and you can become a real liability for a team, because if you start to sort of lose your cool, and you know every time you die you do the classic sigh,
Yeah.
and then you start to complain, you call in more people, say, you know, we need more people. Like you can almost sort of destabilize the whole team.
It's one of those positions where, in reality, it is a team position to defend. You can't just defend it with one person. It all depends on the setup your team is running and where you're playing from, and you definitely need help. But there is always that one player who's labeled the drop defender, isn't there? And he always gets the attention.
Well, I mean, incredibly, Envy actually won 4 out of the 5 last rounds in this game. So at least they did that, and you know they should probably feel good about that. If they can win the pistol now,
especially considering they won a CZ round.
Yeah,
I mean that could have been a 13-2 half very easily if they didn't win that, or 12-3. So quite nice. Yeah, they got to be happy.
Yeah, we jinxed the 16-0 dream pretty early on.
Yeah, we did. What was it, like 10-0, where it's
Yeah.
like actually not even close to being won, but you're like,
Just derail that.
I lay that on your feet. I've jinxed enough in my day.
It's very true indeed. Forest taking a quick peek down middle, but he's going to run back, and Forest is one of those players that's just very scary with the USP.
Oh, he's phenomenal. Love to see him have a great round here. And he might have the opportunity. Envy aggressively clearing out drop. They do have Sixer with the nades, and he's still back in mid, not even through double doors quite yet, so I don't think he's going to be using anything in force. Wants to get a bit more aggressive, going for the timing. He sees two. He's got a long way to fall back. He's got to be careful, but supremely confident in his ability. And I think because that was spotted, it looks like they want to head right back towards A, because they say, oh, Forrest saw two of us rotating out. He's probably tried to call the lean towards the B bomb site. And actually, this setup that NiP is running with existed double doors, get right in the connector, that can get blocked off by this one smoke very, very quickly. So Forrest has a big job to do.
Exist does have two counter flashes, so maybe could buy a bit of time. He's going to put the first one out, second to follow. Goes all the way out, and that's actually a pretty good flashbang now. There's Get Right with the headshot on one, following it up, and Rez, well, they're just getting completely knocked out here. Envy not even getting close to the bomb site in this round. Happy wondering how did it all go wrong. Trying to find at multiple angles. He's going to be down by Rez. Could have maybe even been a knife there, but it's a big round for NiP. And what was even the plan for Envy there? I mean, they sort of ran up behind the wooden wall over at long, but that was it.
Yeah, I mean, they only had one smoke and two flashbangs, so it was smoke off the double doors. You can at least be safe to cross over towards the stables, towards that the wooden fence, and just get into the bomb site, get into that A site. I would like to see Get Right's POV, because you want to talk about someone who's had a massive impact on this game. He gets 4 kills in the first half pistol round. He gets 2 kills here in this pistol round. I mean, those are big rounds to win. We always reference those. So Get Right, he might not end on the top of the scoreboard, and he very well could, but I mean, just in terms of his sheer impact on this game, it's been phenomenal.
Yes, and when you talk to former members of this team, like Freiburg, like Fiflaren, as much as we can, we don't get to see him nearly enough. But
no, we don't. Just for the majors, right?
Just for the majors, pops up.
Must
but
be nice.
It must be nice. Whenever we do that, the story pretty much is the same. That whenever Get Right's having a good time, whenever he feels confident in the game, the team just does a lot better.
Oh, I mean, dude, he's so good, and it is that. It is like, you know, we haven't seen it recently, so it's kind of like he has kind of like died down in kind of some of his excitement, where I think he's lost some of that maybe public perception of how good he actually is. But yeah, when he's playing well, obviously, just adds so much, because his game sense is huge. So I mean, he's one of those guys who you don't really talk about Get Right making a whole lot of mistakes on an individual level. So when he is playing well, I mean, he's usually making the smart, intelligent play to get his team the win.
Yeah. Maybe we could see some of that. Obviously, it's still map 1 here in the best of 3, so definitely not too late for Envy. But we did talk about the danger of going to the third map, which would be Nuke, and how good NiP are at playing that. Eagle pick up for Happy. There's one on Scream as well, so it'd be nice to see a little bit of action there. Exist gonna not stick around for the fight, just gonna smoke it off, which might be a sensible idea here.
Yeah, no real nades as well on the Envy side, just some flashbangs. I think they're just going to try and pop flash through this, and it's perfect. Exist is half blind just for a second. He recovers to get one. Here's Forrest at range of the FAMAS, but it's not doing the damage needed. Get Right's now transferred over to the bomb site, and I think that's it. He stalled things out. He can just hide here. They have nothing to clear him with, and Happy misses the shot to boot.
Go and find Rez. If he actually got that kill, that would be big. Get Right shooting him in the back, though. Still a headshot for Scream, and you never want to count him out. Does have a peculiar skill with these kind of guns, and going to be creeping a little bit too close here against Rez. Maybe if he could have waited around the bomb, though. Once up on the bomb site, and it will be around for NiP. An expensive one, though.
Yes, that one kind of hurts on the CT side a bit more, but again, because of the buy, because of the lack of plants in this, they're going to be fine. NiP into this next one. You'll see, I would imagine, some SMGs bought up, maybe just 1 to 2. Get some bonus money, build up the bank, but this is still, I mean, this now with NiP winning that pistol round in the ensuing second, I think this is just out of reach for the Envy side. This would have to be a massive comeback, obviously, and they can't really afford to invest too much because they have to have a strong first gun round as well. So NiP firmly in the driving seat, the driver's seat.
Yes, whichever way you prefer.
Yeah.
Happy over towards the drop here. It looks like it could be a pretty quick round coming out of Envy to try and get those guns, and the next round maybe have an impact. And as you said, just a monumental comeback is what's in store here for Envy if they want to bring it back on the first map. Not loving this position here for Exist. He knows they're coming up danger as well. He will lose his life. Double kill for RPK. One of them with the SMG, but Drake can pretty easy pick off there.
The tough part is NiP is so aggressive in these stairs just to clear everything out, get right even jumping. But Happy was on a flank, and he's going to get a kill regardless, but the fact that NiP is so aggressive really kind of hinders the impact that Happy's flank can have. If they're playing more passive, if they're back in the bomb site, Happy may be able to get 1 or 2 that would allow some space for Envy to work their way up long, but it just doesn't work out that way. Now we're going to see the AK-47s come out. I don't think you can risk a glass cannon op if you're Envy. RPK could have dropped one, but I just don't think it's the right decision.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Sixer have big of an impact anyway with it. Like, you know, there were some players where you would say, okay, let's just go for it. You know, if you had Kenny on here, maybe he opens it up, but doesn't always seem like that's the case. So, 14-4, a 10-round lead for the NiP team. If they can win this round, then it's pretty much set and done on Cobblestone, but see what Envy can give us. Again, aggressive grenades landing on the plateau, which is always a good thing. Res has to fall back a bit. And NiP have a very similar setup as to the one that Envy were having on CT side.
They've quickly cheated Forrest over to help out with drop, though, and Exist, who's going to hear all this information. Forrest, you can hear him. He's booking it back. This is fast pace. The smoke gives away Exist position. He comes right through it. Now Forrest, 2 different angles, but it doesn't matter because RPK takes him out face to face. I think you got to save if you're NiP already, especially with that kill. Happy, the lurk in the B bomb site. That one hurts.
Great call here. I feel like you can really tell the impact of Happy sort of having control on the team. You could in the last rounds that they won when they were on the CT side. Like really assertive play, you know, saying we're doing this, no hesitation at all. And running down Exist over at Lawn, definitely big plays here. Get Right going to be going down as well. That's a triple for XMS and Envy. First buy round here in the second half, and they smash NiP.
That one's easy. That was like pulled out of the Envy strat book. Happy on one side of the map, 4-man rush on the other side of the map, and they just barrel over that defense. Unfortunate, I think, from NiP on the timing because they had just kind of called Forrest away. And once Exist hears that footsteps, he just couldn't get back safely in time. The pace was too fast for Envy. So he gets overwhelmed. And now you see kind of the success of that second round coming to hurt NiP. Losing 3 players in that round, forcing the rebuys. They don't have money to invest anything at all into this. I mean, they have a huge lead, so there's no real need to risk it. Even look at the aggression here. Just get 1 or 2 kills if you can. So far, they just get screamed. XMS in a tough spot and out of bullets.
Oh, but he survives at least for the moment. Get Right wants to catch him.
How does he survive that?
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Hiding behind the rock, but Envy, they catch the rush early enough. They don't lose anybody. NiP, though, I was going to say they were right on the edge where maybe they wouldn't be able to buy, but they've gone for the hero AWP. Rez picked it up, and he's going to be throwing it over to Draken, so they are going to buy on the Swedish side.
So just to establish who we think can get away with the hero AWPs, it's guys like Kenny, like Guardian, and Draken.
Yeah, and Draken, yeah?
Just throw him in there.
Just, I mean, he does have some crazy shots with it, so...
Yeah, and I mean, the SMGs, the UMPs aren't necessarily bad. Look at this stack over towards the B bomb site for NiP as well. The pace is so fast. Draken doesn't even need to commit to it. There he is, the follow-up, but he can't hit it. Too aggressive from him. Yeah,
it was too close to the center of his screen, so it didn't work out this time. Forrest gonna get overrun by Sixer, and Exist now 1 versus 3, and he's already out of there with the M4, and why not?
So this next time, I mean, Exist is just going to save here, but the next buy that NiP has, they're not going to go for one of those with the AWP and 2 UMPs, because what they're going to want is Molotovs. This pace from Envy is so fast. We saw a rush towards A halls. This time we see a rush towards B. It's very simple stuff, but it can be countered by 1 Molotov, maybe some flashbangs, maybe a couple HE grenades, and it's unfortunate that NiP was calling aggressive with that AWP because Draken had nowhere to really go once they realized it was a rush, but the Molotov solves all those problems. It stalls them out, or they just have to run through it, or they drop a smoke and run through their smoke. So a lot of advantages in NiP this next buy round. They're going to make sure they have all the utility they could possibly need.
I feel like over the last sort of 3 years at least, the lines have been blurred a bit between the different styles of Counter-Strike, but there was a point pretty early on where you could identify French Counter-Strike as the style that was kind of relentless when it comes to this stuff. Like they were so aggressive, and I think the most pronounced map was obviously when they were playing on Inferno, and they would sort of, you know, be just, you know, as soon as they made contact, then the rest of the round was fighting. There was just no breaks at all. Yep. So it's kind of fun to see that coming out of Envy. I mean, there are more teams that do it nowadays, but if they can make it work, and I mean, in spite of being so far behind, they seem to have found the confidence. That's actually kind of cool.
Or maybe it's the fact that they are so far behind that they have Maybe it's not confidence. Maybe it's just like, well, we just got to go for it now, don't we?
Desperation.
Yeah.
Like Desperate Dan.
That was great. Desperate Dan. When he goes in, he goes in.
I've heard rumors that that is true indeed.
Yeah.
A little bit of a boost, and Get Right and Rez playing a tower in that corner. I doubt this will have much an effect, but maybe.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about Desperate Dan, because it's actually impressive the amount that that man knows about snow tires.
Snow tires?
If you ever meet Dan in real life, he knows everything there is to know about winterizing your tires.
Yeah, and many other things too. He's like sort of like an encyclopedia of just strange things. I think it's part of his charm. I quite like it.
Yes.
Now, in this round, they did get the kill on Rez pretty early on, but I still don't think this is going to be too much of a problem here for Envy. They did lose Happy, but...
No, but Scream's about to go down to Exist. He has no idea he's getting flanked down. So there's a good kill. Now XMS has to get aggressive, and he can get caught with a nade out. He is. Looking good. Now the B bomb site is lost for NiP, but Envy has left the bomb back. They were expecting those two players over at A when they rotated over to be able to pick up the bomb, and they don't really have the manpower to watch the flank. So Exist, if he finds the right timing here, this could be perfect. He has a decision to make, though. Does he want to flank platform, or does he want to help his teammates take drop?
Oh, Exist revealing himself maybe a bit too soon. 9 seconds left, and a great headshot there to take down RPK. Now 5 seconds, and Exist going to have the perfect timing. NiP will win the round. Envy, how did they lose track of all of that? It was a 4v4, and there was just a huge gap in their line.
Well, I mean, it was all, I mean, it's almost no fault of Envy. It kind of looks a little bit silly, but they just kind of Exist making that play of this flank. Once he takes out Scream, like, no one's overextended here. XMS is fine on the map where he is in Danger Stairs, but once he overextends, I mean, once Scream falls, then he does feel out of place, right? Because his teammate has fallen. His teammate's that's there with him, and that's when Exist has that great positioning. He can have so many decisions that he can make to impact the round. And more importantly, nobody has the bomb, so it's an extra 10 seconds to run and go get it, which is why you see the clock get so low.
See a bit of a setup here for Envy. The grenades going all the way in. XMS with a deep one to the doorway, and they are set up on the outside. Rez and Drake are not going to have an easy time defending this. More flashbangs running in, but that is a good shot with the AWP. Doesn't see the stairwell though, and ends up going down. RPK with a headshot as well, and Rez should be gone. It's a great little push out there for RPK with a double kill.
Exist gonna go for the flank one more time as well. Wrapping around, it's Forrest who's got to keep the attention of Envy. One kill would go so far. Happy's got nobody with him. Here's Forrest clearing the corner, but Happy's got the angle, and Exist can't win the fight either. NiP stuck on 15. It's gonna be an 8th for Envy.
It's a bit interesting because as soon as Draken hits the first shot there, that does create a bit of space for him, but he just doesn't have anyone backing him up. There was no one in Chicken Coop, there was no one playing close to the plateau, so he just had
Everything to do.
Yeah, too many fights there, and eventually, once he goes down, then RPK comes barreling out of drop.
Listen, it's a good thing that NiP had a phenomenal first half, because it's actually like, I mean, watching this, they get the first 3 rounds, the pistol and the ensuing, but the gun rounds has been 4-1 for Envy. NiP's having a lot of trouble handling this fast pace, which is quite frightening. If that hadn't been a little bit closer, like a 9-6, a 10-5, then I think this game would be very, very worrying as an NiP fan.
And then obviously winning that last eco round with the what the 1 M4 saves obviously helps out quite a bit, but you're right, we're down to pistols again here. Envy need 7 rounds to make it into overtime, which is a bit of a tall order. They're playing this round very slowly. They don't want to make any more mistakes.
And again, it's a stack for NiP towards this B bomb site. They essentially have 4 players here. It is just against pistols, but they did just lose one of those rounds. And oh, there's the top flash in. That's beautiful. Look at this crunch, and they can't get the kills. It was so perfect. They just can't find him fast enough. The flashbangs fade away, but the idea is brilliant. That was a perfect flashbang as well. Both players completely blind.
Yeah, Get Right threw that actually all the way from the plateau. He was right underneath, so pretty good setup for him. Exist will go down, and a bit of a scare for the Envy team, but they will survive it. 9-15. And the money, I think, is the real problem for NiP. They can buy, but this is not going to be a great buy. Especially
considering the pace that Envy has played against. And yeah, actually, I'm happy to see NiP take a pause here, because with the kind of first half they did, actually, it's Envy. Oh, I'm very surprised by that.
Well, you said earlier,
Yes.
if they keep going for this AWP and Draken, they're gonna lack the Molotovs to stop those rushes from Envy. That's true again here.
Yeah, I was expecting, honestly, for this to be another round that you save. You still have 6 rounds of a spread if you're NiP. I honestly thought this was going to be the NiP tactical timeout, and they're just going to come with a game plan and say, listen, we're going to save one more, maybe buy some P250s, maybe a couple flashbangs, try and do something clever again, but let's make sure the next one we have everything. So, if, you know, there's the opportunity. The window is here for Envy. NiP still, despite the huge lead that they had going into this half, still haven't had their economy fully set, it feels. You know, it always feels like it's been on that breaking point.
And Envy, when they were on the CT side, one of the ways they sort of got out of it a bit was having Happy get a couple of really good kills over at the B bomb side. So let's see if NiP can do something similar. They do have Draken.
Yeah, the switch up is Draken going over towards A-Halls with the AWP. Him and Exist are playing a crossfire at the corner and over towards the hay, and then Forest and Danger Stairs to make sure they can't get flanked out. So a lot of pressure on Rez, who's boosted up, and Get Right as well at the B site. But for the moment, this isn't fast-paced from Envy. This is a slowed-down default.
Let's find out how long that pace is going to last. Setting up for the early grenades and pushing forward towards Exist position. Draken momentarily flashed back, but he's going to go for the peak dust spot. One guy jumping, Exist in the corner to get the kill, and now Sixer kind of has to come out on top, but what a great defense being put up. Not least Forest getting a double kill and preventing any kind of a flank, and that could not be better. That was almost a perfect defense. 16-9 in favor of NiP as they move past Envy on map number 1 here at the best of 3. It's not done yet, but that was almost picture perfect.
Yeah, I mean, after the first half as well, just brilliant stuff from NiP on their own T side and then switching over, doing just enough. Got a little dicey. They had some struggles there from Envy, the fast pace, certainly, but, you know, just too big of a window to work with.
Yeah, I mean, this is only map number 1. Map number 2 is going to be coming up, so stay with us. We'll do a full breakdown right after this. Stay tuned.